So I'm trying to make SEO exciting because it actually is really cool. I think the changes that are happening in terms of how we're using voice search more, and just our behavior and the advancement in technology and the way that search engines can actually understand intent now, it's changing our behavior so much. So the average search query that we actually do now is over 4 words long, whereas it used to be just like 1 or 2 words. We would be quite, limited, and we have our expectations in terms of the tools being able to understand what we want, and all of that has really increased. So I guess what I want to kind of get across today is that SEO is not just for, the digital team. Like, all of us producing stuff out of here can affect the client's results if we just have a little bit of a basic understanding of SEO. So anyone who's designing a landing page, any video content that's going out on YouTube, that all has SEO components in it. And so if we're not considering that at the start, then we're not doing the best that we can for our clients. So it's kind of a cool opportunity. So basically, I just want everyone to have a general understanding of SEO and how it can improve our strategies. You could spend a whole week talking about SEO. So I'm going to try and give you a very high level, basic understanding. And mainly I want you to be able to walk out of here and actually do some keyword research, so that if you have a project where you might be doing a how-to video series for YouTube for a client or something, you'll be able to actually go, oh, you know what? let me do a little bit of keyword research around this. And you can actually bring some strategy beyond just sort of what your typical role would be. So we'll look at search intent and keyword research and how to do that. Really high level on-page SEO, just so that you can get an understanding of what's physically involved, like how do you actually do SEO, how to integrate it into your role. And then really quickly touching on YouTube, because we produce a ton of video out of here, and YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world, owned by the largest search engine in the world. So Google runs the world. SEO, what is it? It's the practice of increasing both the quality and quantity of website traffic through non-paid organic. So when we talk about organic search, we're talking about the non-paid stuff, not the ads, the stuff that appears below that. To put it more simply, it's just the practice of getting your content to appear in page 1 of Google for relevant search queries. And why should we care about it? Why is it important? There's a bunch of stats here, but basically nothing converts as highly, no other marketing activity converts as highly as what we call inbound marketing. Traditional advertising was all around outbound marketing, so it was a spray and pray approach. Like, you'd put out a TVC and hope that somebody sitting in their living room heard your message, got motivated, came to your shop, bought the product, and that was that. Same thing with radio, billboards, all that stuff. It's outbound. You're trying to convince people to do something. That still has its place. Inbound marketing is all about attracting the right people. So delivering the right content when they're motivated, when they want it. It's stuff like search engine optimization. If I actually type into Google marketing agencies in Newcastle, I am looking for someone to do some work for me. I'm looking for a marketing agency in Newcastle. And if the inbound marketing approach relies on us turning up highly for that and getting click-throughs, as opposed to someone seeing a billboard of our brand and recalling that later when they need the service and typing that in. So it's quite a different approach, and it has a much higher conversion rate. Voice searches are growing. It's a top marketing priority for most organizations. And video plays a huge part in that. So SEO is not just about writing a ton of blog articles, it's video as well. Video consumption is just increasing day on day. So 93% of all web traffic comes through search engines. Stop and think about that for a moment. That's including social, so any social click-throughs that we get. Search, nothing compares to search engine marketing. 75% of users never scroll past the first page of results. So there's a joke that, the best place to hide a dead body is on the second page of Google, because if you're not on the first page, you're not getting seen. And this is when we're talking about, people coming in saying they want a website or they want an ad. It's like, okay, this is why I'm so big on stopping and saying, what are you trying to achieve? If it is new leads to your business, then we need to have a conversation about search engine marketing and what you're doing and how your website's going to play into that. And every SEO conversation typically starts with ranking and ranking number one. And that's a really old school way to approach SEO, to measure it. Yes, no one's going to argue that ranking first is, it's a great thing. And that's the goal, and you want to do that. But a better goal is to measure conversions, because if you're getting amazing conversions and you're ranked third, then that's what you really need to be measuring. There's cases where keywords might be too competitive to rank first. You might not be able to actually outrank someone, a huge brand. So kind of going that some more niche approach might get you a better return on investment. So measuring conversions is where we want to be really going with kind of our feedback loop to our customers. That's not to say that we don't still give ranking reports, because we do. We have to measure that somehow. I want to talk about intent. This is super, super important. It's probably the most important factor when we're talking about doing keyword research and starting an SEO strategy. I was chatting to Jamie yesterday about, we were doing a little bit of SEO training, and even just the nuances of, some of the keywords that we were looking at. It was like, the how-tos versus the whys versus the those sorts of questions, and what is their expectation when they're typing something into Google in terms of the results that they're going to see, and what are their expectations in terms of, if I click on this, what's the content I'm going to see on the page? So we need to be thinking about that, because just ranking for something, so let's say we want to rank for, like how to make a marketing video go viral, and they land on a page about our video production services. That's just not going to gel well. They're going to leave. They're going to be unhappy. They're not going to convert. So it's really about matching up those expectations. It's arguably the single most important part. A good example of this is we have a new client who we're just starting out with website. And in the questionnaire, I asked them, okay, if you were going to go to Google and search for your products, because people have a really hard time putting themselves in the shoes of their client, and organizations typically, we might have words that we use, technical words that we use within the industry, but that might not be what your customers are using. So what I ask people to do is, if you were going to search for your services or your products in Google, what would you type into Google? So understand the intent of the humans you're trying to target. Establish a seed keyword or words. So for us, it might be marketing agency or creative agency. That might be the seed keyword that we do there. Then we identify the top search queries related to those words. So we refer to this as short tail. So this might be marketing agencies Newcastle or best marketing agencies, that sort of thing. We perform competitor analysis. So this is a really cool, sneaky little way to really expand your keywords. And we've got a tool that you can put any website in, any URL, and it will tell you the top 100 keywords that site's ranking for. And if you look at the non-brand related terms, and you're left with the gold, right? So we want to see, all right, well, what are the terms that they're ranking for? And then we can kind of use that to go and expand our strategy as well. And then we dig deeper into related searches. So we kind of take all those keywords and keep kind of expanding our list. And then we get into something called the long tail, which are search terms that are kind of 4+ words. And that might be, best marketing agencies for content marketing, or, best video production agencies for how-to videos, or those sort of much longer tail searches. Now, those are going to have smaller search volume than, say, marketing agencies. Marketing agencies might have 3,000 searches a month, but whereas the next one might have 10 a month. But if those 10 people are looking for exactly what we're offering, and we can, rank highly and get them to click through and convert, that's that's really low-hanging fruit. It's going to be easier to rank for those search terms because they're going to be less competitive, and those people are highly motivated for exactly what we're offering, so we'll be able to convert them much easier. So you have to work less to get more, basically. And then you sort of put all these keywords together in a keyword bank, and then we organize by search volume and competitiveness. So the tools that we have, I'll show you in a minute, can actually tell us, on average, how many people are physically typing these things into Google every month. So it's not a guess. A lot of customers come in and say, well, I don't think anyone's searching for that. I say, well, I can tell you, you don't have to guess. You don't, it's not, black magic here. We actually have data. So it's based on facts. And we can look at how competitive they are. So a new business that's just starting up that hasn't got any, it's a new website, they're not going to have any authority in the eyes of Google. They're new, as opposed to an existing business that might have some cred, and they can sort of try to rank for more competitive terms. And then you basically prioritize your terms. Okay, we're gonna aim for these 10, 20, whatever it is, and you can create content from there. And depending on, if you were looking at doing a website or a content marketing strategy, you would map these through to pages. But in the case of video or a landing page or, any other bit of content, it might just be that you prioritize those terms, and that then informs your headline. It might inform the title of your video. It might inform the structure of your video. So you might say, all right, well, here's all this gold. We need to have sections in the video about this, or that sort of thing. Can everyone kind of understand how this might help? So OnPage SEO, and I'm going to blow through this really quickly because you guys aren't going to walk out of here and start optimizing websites, but you need to have a basic understanding, because even people who are designing websites in this room or landing pages, this stuff matters when you're designing it. You have to take it into account. So when we talk about on-page SEO, we're talking about things on the page, on the website, that we can optimize to help it rank. There's also off-page SEO, which are things like inbound links, social signals, engagement metrics, that sort of stuff. It's also, old SEO was basically put your keyword here towards the front of the title, put your business name, the end. But these, to get actual click-throughs and to get conversions and get people to actually click on that result, we're much more moving into, it needs to read like an ad. It needs to entice people to click through. It needs to answer the user intent, and this is why that intent is so important. So if I've searched design agencies Newcastle, you're getting a lot of brand stuff here. And there's nothing kind of differentiating them. So we might look at, doing Newcastle's top design agency in Newcastle, or award-winning design agency in Newcastle, something to get me to go, okay, this is the one I want to click on. The URL, so having your keyword in the URL, if at all possible, it's really important. And your heading, so having a proper heading structure. And this is something that I think we struggle a bit with web design. Everyone does, because having that hierarchy and being able to have all of those laid out on a page and still have it look the way you want it to look, it's a challenge. But we need to have it so that people can use heading 1, heading 2, heading 3 down a page for SEO purposes and still have it look sexy. Body copy, image alt tags, links, optimized performance and accessibility all play a part into that as well. This is just a really quick example of where your keywords go. So we spoke about the page title, having it in your URL, having it in, this would be considered either a page title or a heading 1. Alt tag on your images, and then in your heading 1, high up in your body copy. So within the first 100 words, we want to have that keyword repeating. And you don't want to keyword stuff. That's really bad. Google sees straight through it. It's not good. So just shoving your keyword in a million times down a page is not going to get you ranking first. It needs to really read naturally. Writing for humans should always be the first goal. Get your keywords in there where you can if you are doing copywriting or that sort of thing. But yeah, humans first, always. When we talk about YouTube SEO, it's a lot of the same stuff. And how we kind of optimize videos for YouTube is through the title, the description, tags, actual content. So YouTube actually, it actually can transcribe the audio of any video, and that's how it's actually indexing them and ranking them. So even if you aren't doing transcriptions or closed captions, it's listening to the audio of that video and then indexing it based on what it thinks it's about. The problem is Google's really bad at it, so it makes lots of mistakes. So even things like video scripts matter for SEO. Having your keywords in your video scripts matters. Channel authority. So the reason I say that you can control that is because you can control all those other things, the frequency of posting, quality of content, optimization, and all of that. And I think obviously we're designing and creating for humans, not for search engines. But if we at least have an understanding of how the search engines are indexing our content, because we have to play that game, right? Otherwise, people aren't going to see what we're putting out there.